People say women want a good man, kind, attentive, the one who texts back instantly and never lets her feel ignored. But let's be honest, if that were the whole truth, why is it that the man who barely tries ends up living rent-free in her head? Why is it the quiet one, the man who doesn't chase, who doesn't overshare, who looks at her like he's already seen everything, why is he the one she can't stop thinking about? Here's the reality, most women aren't addicted to attention, they're addicted to tension. And the man who knows how to hold back his words, his emotions, even his presence, creates a spark that no nice guy ever could. This isn't about playing games. It's about control, calm, stoic control. And today, I'll show you how to become the man who doesn't need to prove himself, because his very presence already speaks louder than effort. 1. Stop proving yourself, let her wonder. From the time we're young, we're taught to win approval. Be nice, be funny, show off, earn attention, prove your worth. But here's the paradox, every time you try to prove yourself, you silently admit that you're not fully convinced of your own value. And if you're not sure, why should she be? Women aren't drawn to the man who throws all his cards on the table right away. They're drawn to the one who leaves just enough mystery. The man who doesn't need to explain himself. He knows who he is, and that calm confidence speaks louder than words. That man doesn't chase. He doesn't beg to be seen. He lets the room, and her, come to him. And when she realizes he isn't trying to impress her, it disrupts her expectations. She's used to guys fighting for her attention. She's used to compliments and validation. But when she meets a man who seems untouched by all that, she leans in. This isn't arrogance. It's composure. It's what the Stoics called self-containment, the ability to stand complete in yourself without needing outside approval. And when you carry that energy, she can't help but ask herself, does he even like me? Why isn't he trying harder? What's going on in his head? And the moment she starts asking those questions, you've already created the kind of tension that no amount of chasing or flattery could ever achieve. 2. Her brain craves uncertainty, use it. If you want her to think about you when you're not around, don't give her certainty, give her tension. Most men think that being crystal clear will win a woman over. They believe that if she feels comfortable, she'll feel connected. But attraction doesn't work that way. Not for her. A woman's desire isn't fueled by what she already knows. It's ignited by the gap, the space between what she feels and what she can't quite figure out in you. Her mind is wired to close that gap, to seek resolution. The longer you leave it open, the more she obsesses. Think of it as ancient programming. Back when survival meant finding the strongest, most capable partner, a man who wasn't easy to reach wasn't seen as a threat, he was seen as valuable. If he didn't chase, it suggested he already had options. That instinct hasn't disappeared. Even in today's world of endless texting and instant replies, her brain still reads mystery as power. That's why the man who gives less can actually make her feel more. Not by going cold or distant, but by being deliberate. When you hold back just enough, you become the question she can't answer. She replays your words. She reimagines your tone. She tells her friends she can't quite figure you out. And the more she thinks about it, the deeper she invests. Psychologists call this intermittent reinforcement. It's one of the strongest psychological hooks that exist. Instead of pouring out validation non-stop, you give it sparingly, unpredictably. That unpredictability keeps her hooked, because she never knows when the next moment of connection will come. But let's be clear, this isn't about manipulation. It's about value. Your time matters. Your presence matters. And because you don't hand it out freely, she feels it more when you do. That's the difference between men who chase, and men who attract. 3. Act like you've been there before. There's a quiet magnetism in a man who doesn't flinch. He walks into a room like it's familiar territory. He doesn't force attention, doesn't need to raise his voice, doesn't compete for the spotlight. And yet, people notice. Especially women. Most men, when they're around an attractive woman, change. They tense up. They talk too much. They try too hard. Their energy spikes, and their sense of self shrinks. And that's the exact moment the power shifts, because now she's evaluating you instead of feeling you. But when you act like you've seen it all before, like beauty doesn't shake you, like attention doesn't inflate you, you give her something rare, emotional authority. You're no longer another guy chasing approval. You're the calm in the room. The man who doesn't stumble over himself to impress her. The one who can look her in the eye without leaning in for validation. That's when the attraction flips. And here's the key, you're not pretending. You've either lived enough to know your value, or you've grounded yourself so deeply that you don't treat every interaction like it's a once-in-a-lifetime event. You know who you are. You know what you bring. You don't need to audition. That's what the Stoics called ataraxia, unshakable calm. It doesn't mean you don't feel. It means your feelings don't control you. You lead them, not the other way around. When you carry that stillness, women sense it instantly. Because instead of being just another man trying to win her attention, you become the man she can't quite figure out. And that curiosity is what makes you unforgettable. 4. Give less, and she'll feel more. We're taught that love means giving everything. Pouring out constant attention. Sharing every thought. Overloading her with compliments and validation. But here's the paradox, the more you give too soon, the less impact it has. Connection doesn't grow in a flood. It grows in the spaces. Space creates curiosity. Space allows tension to build. Space is where desire takes root. Most guys smother attraction. They text endlessly, reveal their entire life story, shower her with praise every chance they get. And while it might feel generous, what it really does is remove the one thing that makes emotions powerful, scarcity. A man who knows how to hold back creates a vacuum. And in that vacuum, she feels the pull. When she starts leaning in to close the gap herself, the desire is 10 times stronger, because it's hers, not just yours. This doesn't mean going cold or detached. It means being measured. Fewer words, spoken with weight. Fewer compliments, but each one genuine. Fewer reactions, because your emotions aren't cheap. Think of your presence like a favorite song. If it's played on repeat non-stop, it fades into background noise. But when it's rare, when she has to wait for it, that's when it stirs something deeper. So don't confuse giving less with caring less. It's the opposite. It's about giving in a way that matters, not in a way that overwhelms. That's discipline. That's the Stoic edge. 5. Let her chase your calm. When a man carries calm energy, the whole room feels it. But when he sits across from a woman, unshaken and unrushed, she feels it on a much deeper level. Why? Because true calm is rare. Most guys bring noise. They talk too much, laugh too loudly, react too quickly. Their energy screams, "Please notice me. Please validate me." But calmness sends the opposite message, "I'm already enough. I don't need you to steady me, I'm steady on my own." And that's magnetic. Women are drawn to calm energy because it feels safe, mysterious, and strangely challenging. Understand this, your calm isn't silence. It's a statement. It tells her, you can test me, tease me, even try to shake me, but I won't break my center. That kind of steadiness makes her lean in, because it's different from what she's used to. Of course, staying calm isn't easy. You'll feel the urge to fill the silence, to react, to impress. But if you resist, something powerful happens, she becomes the one who fills the space. She's the one wondering, why isn't he reacting? What's going on in his head? That curiosity builds tension, the kind of tension that makes her chase. The Stoics knew this well. They didn't waste energy chasing approval. They guarded their peace and let the world adjust to their rhythm. That's real strength. That's the energy that keeps her coming back, not because you demanded her attention, but because your calm made her crave it. 6. Pass her tests without reacting. Here's a truth most men don't like to admit: she will test you. Not because she's cruel or manipulative, but because that's how she feels you out. It's how she learns whether the man in front of her is truly strong or just pretending. A test isn't an attack. It's a signal. She's asking without words, can I trust his strength? Can I lean on his calm? And sadly, most men fail instantly. They get defensive. They over-explain. They lash out or shrink back. They lose their center, and the attraction dies right there. But a man who holds his ground, he doesn't panic. He doesn't argue. He doesn't flinch. He stays steady, maybe even smiles. That's when she realizes, this one's different. Tests can come in many forms. A sarcastic comment. A delayed reply. A playful challenge to your ego. Maybe even a little flirtation with another guy just to see how you handle it. The weak man reacts. The grounded man breathes, keeps his frame, and answers with calm confidence. That's the Stoic edge, understanding that you can't control events, only your response. When you stay unshaken, she feels secure. And security, more than looks or words, is what makes a man unforgettable. Remember this: passing her test isn't about dominating her. It's about owning yourself. Because when you own yourself fully, no one can take that power away, and she'll feel it every second she's with you. 7. Keep her guessing your intent. If there's one emotion that locks a woman's attention, it's curiosity. Not comfort. Not certainty. Curiosity. Most men ruin that spark by being too clear too early. They lay all their intentions on the table: I like you. You're beautiful. I want something serious. It might sound honest, but it removes the mystery. She doesn't have to wonder. She doesn't replay your words later. There's nothing left for her imagination to chase. But the man who keeps his cards close, not out of manipulation, but out of self-respect, creates tension. He doesn't feel the need to narrate his every thought. He lets her feel his presence, but not have full access to him right away. That's what keeps her hooked. Because uncertainty sparks investment. When she doesn't know exactly where she stands, her mind keeps working, replaying the moments, searching for answers. That's when she leans in. That's when she starts proving herself to you. Think of it like this: when she asks, "So, what are you looking for?" the average man rushes to impress with a flattering answer. The grounded man, he smiles and says, "I'm seeing where life takes me. What about you?" Then he leans back. She's left wondering, curious, engaged. Mystery isn't about being cold or evasive. It's about restraint. It's about letting the moment breathe instead of trying to define it too soon. And when paired with calm confidence, that mystery makes you unforgettable. 8. Be emotionally expensive. In today's world, emotions are thrown around like free samples: constant texting, endless validation, instant replies. Most men give everything away too easily. And when something is too easy to get, it loses value. But the man who is emotionally expensive, measured, selective, intentional, stands apart. His time, his attention, his praise aren't cheap. They carry weight. And that weight makes every word, every look, every moment with him feel significant. Being emotionally expensive doesn't mean being cold or withholding. Stoicism isn't about suppressing feelings. It's about discipline. You feel deeply, but you don't hand your emotions out to anyone, anytime, for free. Here's what happens: when a woman senses your emotions are valuable, she works harder for them. She pays closer attention to your words. She treasures your approval, because it isn't automatic. Think about it: if you flood her with compliments every 5 minutes, they lose meaning. But if you give her one genuine compliment, in the right moment, it lands 10 times harder. If you react to everything she does, you look needy. But if you stay calm and save your energy for what matters, she leans in. This is the edge most men never develop. They confuse quantity with depth. But depth comes from scarcity. The fewer emotions you give, the more powerful they become. Your emotional energy is your currency. Spend it wisely, and she'll value it forever. 9. Control the frame, or lose it all. There's one invisible force that separates forgettable men from magnetic ones: the frame. The frame is the unspoken set of rules that shapes an interaction. And here's the truth: whoever controls the frame, controls the meaning. Whoever sets it, leads it. Whoever loses it, loses everything. Most guys walk into a woman's world already inside her frame. They adjust to her mood. They chase her approval. They react to her every move. Without even realizing it, they surrender leadership. But the man who controls the frame doesn't adapt to her energy, he sets the tone himself. His calm becomes her calm. His pace becomes her pace. His vibe dictates the interaction. She orbits his world, not the other way around. And this isn't about dominance or power games. It's about presence. You're not trying to control her, you're controlling yourself. And because you own your energy, you create a structure that she naturally falls into. That structure feels like safety. And safety, paradoxically, creates attraction. Picture this: she shows up late, throws a teasing remark, "Well, at least I made it." You weren't waiting too long, were you? The average guy scrambles to say, "No, it's fine, I was just hanging out." That's giving away the frame. The man who holds frame. He smirks and replies, "Fashionably late, huh? Confidence looks good on you. Let's see if the conversation matches." Boom. Still calm, still warm, but the tone is reset. That's what frame control is: not force, not arrogance, but guiding the energy. Stoics lived by this. They didn't chase external approval. They defined their own standards and invited the world into them. That's what makes a man magnetic. 10. Become her obsession, by acting like you're optional. Nothing makes a woman more intrigued than a man who doesn't need her. Not in a bitter or arrogant way, but in a calm, grounded, self-sufficient way. When you show up as a man who has a mission, a pace, and a life that doesn't pause just because she appears, you flip the dynamic. You're there because you choose to be, not because you need to be. And that difference changes everything. When she feels that you're optional, that your happiness doesn't depend on her, she starts to question, why is he so content without me? Why does he feel complete on his own? That curiosity turns into fascination. And fascination becomes obsession. Optional doesn't mean unavailable. It means your world is already full. You reply when it makes sense, not instantly. You make time for her, but you don't rearrange your entire life. You enjoy her presence, but you don't cling. And here's the paradox: the less you hold on, the tighter she holds to you. Because every other man tries to lock her down. You don't. And that freedom, that calm independence, becomes addictive. This is what the Stoics knew well: true power comes from self-sufficiency. You're not begging to be chosen. You've already chosen yourself. And that is what makes her want to choose you. If you followed this far, understand this: you're not here to memorize lines or tricks. You're here to transform the way you carry yourself. The man who moves with calm. The man who leads with silence. The man who doesn't need to chase, because his presence already speaks louder than effort. That's the Stoic path. And when you walk it, you don't just attract women, you attract respect, admiration, and peace of mind. So ask yourself, are you done proving, chasing, and overgiving? Or are you ready to master presence, restraint, and control? Because once you stop trying to be the man she wants, you become the man she can't forget.